This episode was brought to you by Metallic Dice Games, your source for premium, snazzy-looking gaming dice. Get 10% off dice and dice accessories on metallicdicegames.com with our code TRIALS10. They have a bunch of gemstone, plastic, and metal dice, tons of variety, tons of beautiful stuff. Go check it out. And again, don't forget to use code TRIALS10 to get 10% off. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 197 of Trials and Trebuchets. I'm your dungeon master, Luke. Joining me are my fucking players.
You're so angry.
Hi, I'm a player. My name is Ben, a silly little rat who plays the level 10 gnome wizard, Winsor Wallaby, along with his evil cat, Mr. Wiggles.
Yeah.
Then I do. It's me, Carla. Hi, I'm Carla, and I play the level 10 Tiefling Roguelike Integrity, Idleberry. Lady, please get out of my head. Stop mind reading all I'm thinking about. See, I was gonna sing the la 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 part, but it was too long.
That's good. That's still
pretend
good.
that it's in there.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play Mira Marchand, the level 10
Whoa.
half-elf bard. What?
Whoa.
Nothing at all. I was just saying whoa to your
Oh.
intro. Sorry to catch you off guard like that.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play Mira Marchand, the level
Whoa.
10 half-elf bard. She's underneath the school, Our Lady of the Deep.
Finally!
She's made of tentacles and brains. Now
You
it's
don't know
time
that?
for Bailey Sweep.
Holy fuck.
Hi, I'm Sam, and I play the level 10 human sorceress, Saranep Cinderman. I gained back my 3 levels that I lost the last time. Ignore that intro.
Ignore
Just
that
intro.
That was a bit.
It was a bit.
retcon.
It was
was a bit.
100% a bit. We meant to do it. It's fine.
I've never done anything unintentional in this podcast once.
Same.
Got it.
And last time on Trials and Trebuchets, Saranep Cinderman emerged from her banishment and jumped out of a burning dorm window to find Mira Marchand. She drug her away to the infirmary and away from a strange message carved into the fountain.
Oh my gosh.
Meanwhile, in halls unknown, Winslow awoke from his torpor and freed his fellow captives, Integrity Eye Idleberry and the uncanny halfling Calwen Greenleaf. Before their daring escape, the trio were visited by the cranium rat scholar Trenthus and a jug of water from which Our Lady of the Deep probed at their minds, shattering the vessel and killing another scholar. The trio then escaped into the halls in search of orbs and an exit. Back on campus, a well-rested Mira Marchand and Saranep Cinderman tried to leave the infirmary, but were stopped in their tracks by the one and only Professor Doss.
Professor Doss.
So, we are going to start. I'm not going to say it like that, you fucking dumb little shit. We see, in a office illuminated in the early morning light, the form of an old woman awaking in a start in her office chair. She looks confused. Has grayish hair and wrinkled face. She's wearing a robe of black, gold, and silver, that of the Hedrick Society for Excellence. We see Professor Doss looking around her office with a bit of confusion as to why she might be here. We see her taking deep, ragged breaths and trying to think, trying to piece together the things in her mind. She will stand and rush over to one of these bookshelves in her office and begin to pull at a book or two here and there, spell tomes, and splay them out on her desk. She puts a hand to her head as she does this and will kind of take a deep, pained breath, almost like something just sent a shock across her brain. And as we see her scramble for these books and look for something, look for anything. Her deep breathing continues until she finds a certain page, and she begins to quickly, under her breath, read a incantation and then take a deep exhalation with the last words of this spell. And she shuts her eyes, and a flood of different memories, visions, small pieces get put back together, and she'll open her eyes, and then we'll cut straight from there to right at the infirmary doors. Mira Marchand, you are standing looking at these eyes, which we, the audience, have just seen. Helena Doss's eyes, Professor Helena Doss's eyes, are looking at you, bloodshot and just very wild, if I should say. And she will put a hand on your shoulder and will say, Mira Marchand.
Hi.
And then look quickly over at you, Serenup Cinderman, and a very nice smile crosses her face. And she'll look back to you, Mira. She'll say, do you have a moment to walk with me and have a quick conversation?
Oh, well, you know, I'm actually pretty busy. Serenup and I have like some stuff that we're taking care of.
I'm sure there's things that you need to take care of today.
Yeah, so maybe like later.
After all. I think it would be important if we had this conversation now before anything else, Miss Marchand. I have a few thoughts racing across my mind that I just need to share with you. Surely you can disregard them after that, and I'll just be quick.
Okay. Sure, as long as it's quick.
Good, walk with me. And she will pull you off, heading towards, let's say, the evocation department. That's pretty nearby. It's early in the morning. You might be... What would you say? Do you want it to be... I'm not going to ask you. I don't care. Let's say it's about 9 a.m., which would make you late for some of your classes, but you were in the infirmary, so you take some, you lose
Yeah,
some.
the school is traditionally fine when people miss their classes or exams due to being injured or comatose.
We'll just make it up later.
Professor Doss leads you, Mira, and by extension, you, Serenep, towards the evocation department. You're familiar with it. She brings you into the main floor, this open space, these hallways from which you can see out onto this evocation field. The grass yellowed in the spring air, and a little bit of frost forming on the stone here. And she's silent. You can hear her just ragged breaths. She seems to be very out of sorts, almost like she's very ill-rested or something of the sort, Mira. And as the two of you follow behind her, the moment that you enter into the evocation department, she will walk up to one of these kind of like half walls and put her hands upon it, resting for a moment. And then she will take a deep breath in and say, my mind is racing of tens of horrible visions, girls. And Mira Marchand, I can't help but notice that I feel as though some of your memories are caught up in my mind. There's a few gaps from last night that I've not been able to fill in. I woke up this morning in a start at my office, not where I remember leaving off last night, but I don't remember the rest.
Wait, so you're having my memories?
I hear it's like thousands of thoughts are racing across my brain, and in trying to put some sense to them, yes, I seem to have some memories or thoughts of yours that are intertwined within my own.
I see.
Specifically, Mira Marchand, of you being in attendance of a certain secret society last night.
Uh-oh.
Now, remind me, Luke, I'm pretty sure she doesn't. Does Doss teach any of my classes?
You took spellcraft with her, and I'm not sure if you're taking another spellcraft class this semester.
I don't think I am. All right, cool.
I don't believe you are.
She's not my teacher at this moment. All right.
No, she's not.
Yes, I was.
That's troubling.
It is what it is. I had a reason to be there.
She does look up from where she is just staring off into space and does make a quick eye, make side eye at you. And she will say, and what purpose was that?
Well, I could tell you. Historically, and I'm sure if you're seeing any of my memories, you'll know that there's a lot of threats to this school, and historically, when we've tried to tell faculty members, they're not very active in responding to those. So I'm happy to tell you that there was a larger threat to the school. In fact, I wasn't trying to come to this meeting. I was in pursuit of a certain Bailey Blue who... Well, I had reason to believe he was going to be around there, and I mean, if something happened to your brains, you can probably figure that he did that. So I wasn't trying to come to this meeting for the sake of just destroying its secrecy. I was in pursuit of someone else who had intentions of doing the exact same thing. But I just don't think anything's really going to happen by telling you this. So I just hope that you can have confidence in me and my friends to deal with it, as I'm sure you now already know that we have many times.
I can see that parts of what you're saying are true, of course, but I still find your excuse lacking.
Okay, you can find it lacking. We were recommended for expulsion in front of the council last semester. I'm sure you know. I've met with Crow this semester. If you're not happy with it, I mean, you can try that again. You can talk to him, but I don't think it's going to go very well because, you know, we have precedent that it doesn't.
No.
But I'm sorry that you find it lacking. I'm happy to help with all of this. That's what I can promise you.
Yes, I would hope that much. Miss Cinderman.
Yes?
Are you having these... I don't find your thoughts stuck in my mind as well. Is there a particular reason for that?
From what I understand, whatever came about from last night, where everyone was, you know, eating, drinking,
Yes.
For some reason it didn't have this strange effect on myself. But I can tell right now that you're dealing with the same thing that I'm sure our friends are dealing with now.
Miss Marchand, as you've said, there seems to be a great threat at the moment. I don't know how truly sinister this is. Again, parts of my memory are absent right now. I can't seem to recover them. We might hold off on this conversation in full until after such a threat has been dealt with. I have no intention of bringing this to Headmaster Crow. I don't trust him to solve a damn thing in this school.
Me neither.
Nor do I intend to involve him with the Hedrick Society for Excellence at large. He has no need to know about such things, as you have no need knowing of such things. But we can leave that until after this has been dealt with.
Okay.
Do you have any idea why I can't remember last night? I assume you must have some further information. You seem to be operating on a lot of assumptions right now, so I assume you have an inkling of an idea at the very least.
Like Serenepth was kind of talking about, we think anyone who ate or drank the food there was poisoned somehow. And that has, well, we don't fully know, but it seems to have like infected people into some kind of thought networky thing. I heard a voice too. So, I mean, that's our best guess. We don't fully know the extent of what it means yet. We're looking for Winsler, who was, of course, there, as you know.
Winsler Wallaby.
And
yes.
I think for why you can't remember itself, I think because your memories are now in a, like she said, a network. It's sort of everything's been put together, if that makes sense. Memories, something like that. I'm not sure.
It doesn't feel like that. Not to me. Not at this moment. I don't know either one of your interactions with memory manipulation magics or that family at large, but I've had my fair share, and this feels... it feels more deliberate, like things have been purposefully taken out, struck from the record of my mind.
Well, we can't guarantee anything because we don't know what's going on yet, but I can promise you that we can at least try to get all of this stuff back. I mean, we are reasonably sure that Bailey Blue and his friend Yakov, to a lesser extent, are responsible for this. I understand that you can't do anything to act on that without proof, and you don't need to. I think we've got this.
What makes you think I can't act on that?
Because nobody acts on anything at the school. You know that the disappearances last semester, there was an oblex, but by the way, Bailey was also responsible for that. And you don't have to, because we will do it. And like we know how it is at this point, and we don't want to put any of you guys into further danger. And I also know that you don't have any reason to believe me when I tell you all of this anyway. I get it. Like I really do. At this point, I'm like, this is our responsibility. Like I get it.
Let me look something up. Mira Marchand.
Okay.
Professor Doss liked that.
Let me search in my network.
Mira.
Yeah.
Can you make for me a wisdom saving throw?
Yes, of course I can make for you a wisdom saving throw with this wonderful metallic dice games die right here. Oh,
Did
shit!
you get a crit?
It's a nat 20.
No.
Plus nothing. It's just a 20.
Okay. You feel you feel what it feels like to have the shoe on, what's the expression?
Shoe on the other foot?
The shoe's on the other foot,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You feel a deep probing sensation within your own mind, one which cuts through the idle whispering and chatter in the background, one which feels like a deliberate attempt by another being to discern your deeper thoughts, which you can know to be DOS trying to detect thoughts and probe for deeper information upon you.
Interesting.
She don't trust you.
Professor Doss, if you have any spells that require truth or honesty, you're more than welcome to use them, but please ask me first. I've used that spell too. I know what it feels like.
My apologies, Mira. I apologize. I do so. This just seems all too troubling.
That it is.
Understandable.
Like there's a piece of this that I'm direly missing. I feel as though I'm at a very dangerous place, and I cannot see as to why that might be.
I'm sure your thoughts have been, pardon me, Professor Doss, fucked with. And I hope that we can get that fixed. We're all very troubled.
And she will stand up at this point and say, yes, I'm sure. After this is dealt with, you and I, as well as Bailey Blue, who, if I'm to believe, was in attendance, is that what you're implying?
I'm sure he had to have been in some capacity to have
Very well.
poisoned the...
You
Yes,
and
I believe
I,
so.
and Bailey Blue, and your friend Integrity Idleberry, whose thoughts I see as well,
Oh.
will all three of us, four of us, have a quick conversation and come to an agreement about how to proceed with these things. I'm sure we can find something agreeable for everyone.
I'm sure we can.
In the meantime, is there anything you need of me?
When you were coming over to see us, did you happen to see Bailey? Did you hear anything when you were coming over to the infirmary?
There's posters around for some sort of student debate that have your name, Miss Marchand, as well as his and another student, Miss Sunfire. Beyond that, no, I didn't see the boy.
I don't think he'll miss the debate. I think there's a reasonable confidence that we can, wherever he goes after that, we can follow him there. But if you do see him before, it would, if you could let us know. We're really hoping to find our friends and get this dealt with.
Of course. Miss Marchand?
Mhm.
I, at the very least, have had some success with trying to pry into my own mind and see what is going on. It allowed me to see your perspective on things as well as a few others. If I could make a single recommendation, it would be to try and do the same. You seem to be of some reasonable level of skill, right?
Yes, I am.
Then you should find it fairly easy.
I'll do what I can. I appreciate that, Professor Doss.
I won't mention this to anyone else unless things get further out of hand, or unless you want me to.
Thank you. And you two can expect that I won't say anything about the Hedrick Society either.
Make a persuasion check. Or
Sure.
a deception check, your choice.
No, it's persuasion. I'm telling the truth.
Okay.
That's a 14 plus 13, so what is that, 27?
Okay.
Okay. She will nod. You see her. She seems to believe you. But like a very grim expression crosses her face for like a very quick moment. You're uncertain what that is unless you wanted to roll an insight or something further. But a very grim
I have a sense already.
Okay, a very grim expression crosses her face, and she will say, "Excuse me, I'll leave the two of you. I have classes to teach, and I'm feeling altogether ill.
Talk to you later then.
Until we speak again, girls."
Goodbye.
And she will leave slowly, again, ragged breaths, and leave the two of you in the evocation department.
That could have gone worse.
Yeah, that definitely could have gone a lot worse.
I was like, is it like, am I just fucking things up more by being like, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? I mean, I absolutely think she intends to like just modify people's memory after this meeting, so there's no way that part is happening. But anyway, okay, so people are connected to each other's thoughts. That's something that's good. Debate probably still happening. That means we can get a read on where Bailey is.
I mean, if Bailey's showing up at that debate, like, especially, like, does he think that we're not here to do it? Like, I'm sure Yakov probably already ran off and told him that we're like on the case or whatever the heck.
Oh, I'm sure he knows. I mean, there was the whole don't trust Mira Marchand thing, which, like, okay, we're probably gonna have to do some damage control on that, but we have an opportunity to do it on the public stage. But more importantly, our friends. I really hope they're okay. I wanted to go after them yesterday, but God, we were super fucked up.
Well, wait, but okay, here's a weird thought, because like,
okay,
Doss was talking about how like she's seeing like your memories, like they should also be in the network, right?
Yeah, like maybe we can see theirs somehow. I don't know how she did it. She was just like, oh, you'll figure it out, which possibly. But yeah, we might be able to tap into that and see from their like POV where they are.
At least like making sure that they're safe, because I mean, I trust that they can get out of a dangerous situation. Like, they've done it before, but like the big thing is,
but it's still worrying.
Yeah.
If I just like sit still and try to think really hard about where Integrity and Winslow are, is there any like, does anything just happen?
There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Mira? You can make an Arcana check for me, I guess.
You can make Arcana check, yes.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much of that is something she did versus something that just happened to her.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I don't think that worked because I rolled a 3 + 4. That's a 7 on that Arcana check.
Dang.
You hear like the whisperings in the back of your head, like this, like this very sibilant whispering, S's and W's and mixed together little letters. Nothing sensical, just a bunch of like hundreds of people whispering in a crowded hall, Mira, and you hear one voice cut through them all and say, "Keep your eyes forward."
Okay, that didn't work. It's just a bunch of whispering.
Okay. Well, I mean, I do have scrying. I only have one use though, so it's definitely a moment of like, because I don't know if Bailey's part of the network himself.
Well, we could cast it on our friends. I mean, we can just like, we have a bunch of their stuff.
Yep.
That should work fine.
That just means that
That'll
I wouldn't
at least
be
tell
able
us where they are.
That would also mean I wouldn't be able to scry Bailey to find them.
It's true.
But the debate.
I'll remind you, Mira already tried to locate creature on Bailey, and it didn't work, right?
That's true,
That could mean he's outside of the range of the spell, which scrying kind of avoids, but just so that you don't just burn your one use of it, he will be again, Mira, he probably will be at the debate. It would be foolish to miss that, and it could just be a waste of the spell nonetheless. So, with that being said,
we can probably go to one of their rooms and just, I don't know, maybe being surrounded by their stuff will help.
Absolutely.
With powering up the spell a bit more, I don't know.
Yeah, totally. We talked about needing stuff of the Baileys and the rats last time. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where do you guys want to go?
Maybe like Integrity's dorm?
Okay.
Yeah, why not? Sounds good.
As you cross campus, deciding, let's go to Integrity's dorm, get some scrying action going on before the events that will proceed later in the day. As the two of you leave the evocation department on this quest, we'll cut to our other wonderful trio of heroes. Winslow Wallaby, Integrity Idleberry.
Yes.
The two of you are accompanied by a halfling with brown skin and some sandy hair, Calwyn, Greenleaf. You hear him like walking behind the two of you, like very nervous, some very nervous like whimpers almost coming from him, like at every single like bubbling, every single big rumble that you can feel. This, to describe where you are once more, it's this circular hallway that curves very greatly. On your left side, it's this left side on the ground, on the ceiling, it's this purplish, blackish, brownish, metallic texture to things. The room that you guys came out of, that like iris-like door that you had emerged from after killing the cranium rat scholar, Trenthus. That is the only door that you truly perceive. The rest of the walls here seem to be utterly smooth to the touch and their appearance. There's no discernible doors from them. And then on the right side of this hall, within which you find yourselves, seems to be a thick glass or crystal through which you can see a immense volume of this yellow, brackish water. It is almost opaque. You can see barely through it. Moments ago, a big fat tentacle just slapped against the glass here, and you guys all kind of recoiled a bit. But if I recall, your plan was to move forwards, left down this hallway.
Correct.
Yes.
So the two of you in front, Winsler and Integrity, are rushing, I would assume, or are you taking it fairly slow, trying to be quiet?
I think we're like being cautious in a briskly manner, not exactly like being entirely stealthful,
Okay.
but if we hear anything, we'll like slow down and make
Of
sure our
course.
pace adjusts.
Yeah. As the two of you take the lead and maneuver forwards, going quick enough to get out of here with some haste, but not quick enough to be noisy as shit.
Yes.
Behind you, or around you, you feel these rumblings, not at any discernible interval. It's like 30 seconds, rumble. Like the ground shakes, the glass next to you shakes. You see bubbles go blub, 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 blub to the top of whatever vessel that is. And then it might be another minute before another rumble comes. It's not any set frequency. As the three of you walk in this glowing yellow light for some time, you come upon what seems to be, at the end of this hallway, it just all of a sudden ends in one of these iris-like doors. This one is very evident in the wall. It seems to be about 10 feet in diameter, closed tightly. There seems to be a small, almost panel to the right that is glowing with yellow fluid within. It seems to be a door that is locked beyond some means, magically or mundane. It is uncertain how. When you had seen the Cranium Rat Scholar enter into your guys' like examination room, it all happened. You're not certain how he got in, and then he opened it just with a wave of his hand. So the three of you come upon a door like this at the end of this hallway. What would you like to do?
You know, all of these rumblings, it really sounds like my stomach when I'm hungry.
That was your first thought?
Well,
I mean, I kind of know what you mean a little bit.
I only think about food when I'm scared. So how do you think can we open this thing?
Well, I didn't see a panel on the other door or around the other door. I wasn't really looking that well, but this one seems to have some sort of like interface. Maybe if we mess around with that, maybe we could figure out how to open this door.
Yeah, Winsler. It's probably about 3.5 feet off of the ground.
Oh, I'm not
Perfect
reaching that.
I know. Perfect height for like one of the Cranium Rat Scholars to reach at, but too short for you, Integrity, to be comfortable at, and a bit too tall for you, Winsler. The three of you can crowd around it nonetheless, though. It's probably about a 10-inch by 16-inch rectangle, and it's made of the same crystal, and through it you can see this brackish yellow fluid. What do you want to do with it?
Do you think we should put like a hand on it? See if it does anything? Will it react to like touch or something?
I mean, it could, or maybe it can recognize face. You can put your face on it.
I don't really want to put my face. Calvin, do you want to put your face on this panel?
I'm good, actually. I'm fine.
All right. Since it was your idea, Integrity, you can go ahead and do that.
Put my face on it?
Yeah. Give it a try.
Do it, Integrity.
I'm going to put
Face ID.
I'm going to put my face on it, like nose to nose. Like butterfly kisses.
Okay.
Oh my god.
You see Integrity like bend over and stick her face against this thing. Integrity is cold to the touch. You can smell the salty water through this almost. It is like chilling to touch it with your nose. You boop it. Put your nose, squish it against it.
Yes.
And for some time, 2 to 3 seconds, nothing occurs. And then as soon as that passes, as soon as the moment where you're like, I guess nothing's going to happen passes, it starts to rumble itself and lights up a bright red from behind. And then you feel a little shock on your nose. And I need you to take just 2 points of lightning damage.
Okay, well that
as you seem to be shocked.
So that doesn't work. My nose hurts.
All right, so maybe if I put my hand on it, and I'm gonna put my full palm on it.
You reach up and put your full palm on it, 2 to 3 seconds, and you have like this trepidatious air to you where you're like, oh God, is it gonna shock me too? But after those 2 to 3 seconds of anticipation pass, it lights up a bright green to your hand. You see 3 symbols take form, almost as if they, like when you're at the aquarium and the water's too hard to, or like when you're at the lake and it's hard to see through the water, but then you see something come to the surface. It's almost like that. Not like there's something appearing on the surface of the glass. Almost something like 3 things have swam forwards into your field of view, similar to what that tentacle did. Going from the top to the bottom, there is one that is like a little toy doll or something, Winsler. You know how you have that like wooden doll from years ago in Lightmere?
Little toy.
Yeah, it looks like that, like a little wooden doll of some sort. The second one is it's 2 triangles leaning upon one another, the symbol of the deity Estar. And then at the very bottom, there is it's like a little block house that you would give like a kid or something, like a little wooden block home.
There's a lot of these weird symbols on it, but there's like a doll, there's like the symbol of Estar that's there for some reason, and then there's a house. Do you think this is it trying to tell us that Estar owns a dollhouse?
Amazing religious deduction, Winsler. You nail it in one and it just opens up and it goes, you won the prize.
You know,
that's not true.
No.
First off, we probably should have started with a hand. I don't know why I did the whole face thing, but
I mean, things seem to work really differently down here. It was worth a shot.
Yeah, I mean, it was a real brave play. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have touched it either. I'd probably be still in that room waiting to,
Don't worry about it, Calvin. I think that you have like a certain bravery inside of you that you just need to let out, you know? You need to not be afraid.
Make a persuasion check.
Be brave, Calvin. Be brave.
Be who you were always meant to be.
Persuade, that's a 10.
Never mind.
He looks at you skeptically and goes, well, being kind of cautious has got to be a lot of things in life. Like the good kind of comes and then you're kind of cautious, but then like good things keep happening, you know? So I've always been rewarded for being very hesitant about things, you know?
Totally. If that works for you, then I guess good for you. So did that open anything? Did that do anything?
So could you? This is a Ben question.
Yeah.
Is
Ben.
this sort of like a touchscreen interface with these symbols where you can like move them around
It's a
in like a
tablet.
different order?
You could try to, yeah, absolutely. If you touch one and like drag it around, it'll follow your finger coming closer to the glass. But the moment you leave the finger touch leaves the glass, they just go back to the same order that they were.
Okay. What if I just tap one?
Which one would you like to tap?
Let's tap Estar first.
Estar first.
Sure.
Wonderful.
The god comes
Winslow,
down from heaven.
You
Oh shit.
touch that little symbol. It looks old. It looks rusty. Looks like a piece of metal thrown in a lake for 300 years. And as you do so, the other 2 symbols will disappear. You hear a big rumbling coming from the other side of this door. And then as soon as it stops, it probably goes on for like 15 seconds. The sounds of stone grinding against stone and a bit of a shrill metal screech in there as well. And when that ends, this iris of a door goes and opens. Beyond this precipice, you see a long rectangular room. And coming from the very far end of it, I'm getting ahead of myself. You see a long rectangular room. There is still this almost metal, almost stone texture beneath your feet leading into this, but the walls themselves in here are resplendent, coated in gold and silver, gems encrusting so many surfaces. The ceiling of this room, it's almost like a somewhat of a domed ceiling. It is encrusted with so many gems. It looks like a brilliant night sky with all the sparklings above. At the very far end of this room, and it is a long room, and it's probably 30 feet wide and something like 150 feet long.
Oh my.
You see that the far end of this room, the far wall, is also completely crystal or glass, similar to this vessel next to you. But instead of being this saffron yellow glowing liquid, it seems to be a greenish water, like water that, again, pond water left to get algae in it, right?
That kind of green.
As if it is just stagnant. Yes, it's brilliant green colors. And sitting there, floating in this massive wall aquarium at the far end, you see a very normal-sized brain.
Oh.
Like it's a little fish in an aquarium.
So
floating around.
There's nothing else to this room other than the walls are encrusted with silver, gold, gems, and then this like weird brain sitting in this aquarium on the far end.
If you wanted to, you could walk in and examine the room further if you would like.
Sure, let's do that. Let's do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do all of you cross this precipice and you grab Callowin and drag him with you?
Yeah, let's grab Callowin.
Absolutely. He kind of goes, I'll stay. And then you grab him by the collar, Winsler, and pull him in with you.
Come on.
As the three of you walk in, the door behind you goes and shuts quickly. You enter into this room, and there seems to be like almost a, Winsler. There's a humming in the air, almost like chanting, almost like people singing in a choir. And very notably for you, that whispering, that sibilant whispering in the back of your head, it cuts out entirely.
Oh.
As you enter into this room. Callowin and Integrity, you can proceed further. Winsler, you look around the room, taking everything in, maybe cautious because you can no longer feel that connection to anything or that whispering of presumably being part of the network. And as you look around, you see that the walls seem to have like 6 pillars semi-extending from them, and you can very quickly take in, you see the symbol of Estar on one, you see the symbol of Siltern on another, you can see the symbol of Stivus, Rel, Lem, and Isithil, and they seem to be gem-encrusted on this gold and silver-walled room.
And is it old?
It seems very old, Integrity. Yeah. It seems... As you walk, there's a ton of dust on the floor in here. The gems seem grimy almost. The walls a bit tarnished, almost like they are aging poorly, as if poorly maintained. And as you walk forwards, Integrity or Winsler, probably Integrity, as you're not really examining anything, you didn't hear any weird shit happen. You both hear this rumble coming from behind you where that door was, that scraping of stone and squeak of metal. And then, Integrity, as you reach probably the halfway point in this room, as you walk further in, 60 feet to look at this massive wall at the back, you hear a voice that calls out and says, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
Is this just like a voice in our head, or...?
It echoes throughout the entire room, like there's a person in here who's just talking out loud. What are you doing in here?
What are you doing in here?
Who's talking?
I've been imprisoned here for so long. Who sent you? Did she send you?
I'm looking around extremely confused.
Where are you?
I'm right here.
Where's here?
And as they say it, Winsler, before you can say, "Where's here?" like a doofus, the green water glows very brightly and illuminates that normal-sized brain floating around in brine. And this voice goes, "I am here, imprisoned here for so long."
Who are you?
My name is Merrick Beardless.
Is this name familiar?
It might be Integrity.
I don't think it's familiar.
Would you want me to roll for it?
You can if you want. You can roll a history check for me.
Okay.
Wait, was Beardless that photo of like that guy in the
It
gym?
was? In the chapel?
Yeah.
In the chapel,
That's why,
yeah.
that's why it sounded
But he
familiar.
had a beard. Well, no, there was like a gym in the chapel.
Yep, it is.
It's like the big portrait,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The big portrait in the old chapel.
But he had a beard.
Yeah, he did have.
His
He
name was
absolutely had a
Beardless,
beard.
yeah.
He also had a body, but that's minor
that-
details.
Did you still want me to roll for it, or
No, you don't have to roll for it. I was just.
Yeah.
If someone
You
can remember
might,
at a
baby.
table, no, that's perfectly
No,
fine.
because
It's perfectly
I
fine.
remember like the name
Yeah.
sounded super familiar. Yeah. What? Weren't you one of the founders of the school? We're in Wildcliff, by the way, if you did not know.
Yeah, I don't know if you could tell by like the robes that we're wearing or whatnot.
Wait, can
or
you see
anything.
us, or can you just hear us?
Yes, I can see you. I can see you well. The first change to this room in, I don't know how long. It must be 100 years, 200 years maybe.
You've been trapped here for that long?
I've been trapped here for much longer than that.
Oh dear. Are you the only one that's here? Or do you know if there's others like you in rooms like these?
The last thing that happened to me was years. It must have been 400 years ago. I had a terrible fever, and when I was slipping away, and was so excited to see the marble halls of Estar after, and I awoke here in this place, and she visited me once or twice, but no one else has come in here for a very long time. I don't know if anyone else is kept here, but I know she keeps me here as a trophy or something.
Sounds like what happened to you is sort of what happened to us. Well, except for the whole brain out of body experience thing. Are you referring to the Lady of the Deep?
I'm referring to Henrietta.
Oh. I probably should mention that. That would be very terrible information to let go.
I don't know what she calls herself now. I just know that she came here 2 or 3 times, hundreds of years ago. She can't be alive anymore. To gloat,
She was your colleague, am I to be understood? Is that correct?
I came to this place when she offered me to stay and do research alongside her, yes. Myself and the other one, Davis Wilburn. We researched, we were partners, not just colleagues. We worked alongside each other on each other's projects. I, myself, very interested in divine theory and the gods themselves, their reach into our own planes and their magic, which extends. Davis he researched the Celestials as well alongside me. The two of us were close collaborators, but Henrietta, she kept her distance from us. Despite that, she researched the arcane. She was the first here and invited him and I to join her.
So forgive me for asking this, but why would you be worthy of gloating? Like, what?
I thought that we were equals. The 3 of us, we founded a school together, a small wizard's college. We invited 18 students, split evenly between the 3 of us. Less to teach them and more to aid us, but I did my best. I did what I could. When I came to this place, though, she seemed to view me as less than her, a means to an end, some way to unearth secrets buried in the mountain. She viewed me as some poor fool who was fooled by her into coming and doing her work for her, some person who wasn't worthy of any respect or admiration, someone to lock in here to rot for all time while she saw her ideas through to the end. I think she viewed us more as her competition than her colleagues. In my death, she views herself as greater than me.
Integrity, are you thinking the same thing as I am? Where do you think this Henrietta, Lady of the Deep character was the one who encountered the giant on the moon?
That's some wild shit. Are you talking about the disciple?
Like are you
so.
talking about the women that they said went up to the moon?
Yeah, who like went through the doors.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do you think that could be the same person, or?
I mean, if Henrietta is the Lady of the Deep, and the Lady of the Deep knows things about the world that we don't, I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know.
Is there any particular reason why there's no more? I don't hear any whispers in the back of my head in this particular room. Do you hear any whispers in the water over there?
No, I hear nothing. I've been kept isolated from anything and everything for as long as I can remember. My death has far outlasted my life. The walls are impermeable. No one comes to this room anymore.
Okay, I'm kind of wondering something. I wish to investigate the gold silver walls.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to do some sort of research on them in terms of
like what they're made of.
Sort of like an experiment. Like get the idea of, is this sort of material that it's made of, is this able to actually is it able to block brainwaves or like some telepathic like
how do you want to do
ability?
that?
I don't know. So here's my thought. I'm thinking of using Fabricate.
Okay.
Right? I'm thinking of using Fabricate to take part of that wall.
Okay.
Like just like the gilding of
the
it.
Coating.
The coating.
Yeah.
I'm taking that and turning it into like some sort of like disc.
Okay.
Right?
You can walk over, Winsler, and place your hand. If you would like to use Fabricate, you may do so. Expend the spell slot. Okay. And you can, using magic...
10 minutes.
Yes. You take the 10 minutes. You start to pull, using magic, this coating, this gilding off of the walls itself, forming it into a disc of a sort. Just a disc?
Not so much a disc. More like...
Okay.
More like a helmet. More like a helmet.
Okay. You
Beautiful.
spend the 10 minutes magically pulling this material off, like a wax coating on the walls, and forming it into a small gnome-sized helmet of a sort. I assume once this is complete, this little gold and silver helmet, you would like to don it, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I wish to don it. And now for step 2.
Of course.
So, is there a console on this inside part of the door as well?
Yes, there is.
Okay. I wish to tap on it.
Of course.
And see if I can get back to that hallway that we were in.
You tap on it. You wait the 3 seconds. A figure. Only one option comes up this time. I should say. It is just that of what looks like a glass flask.
Okay.
It just floats up towards the surface.
All right.
You can touch that. You hear rumbling coming from the other side of this door, steel grinding against steel. The voice calls out to the 3 of you and says, Are you already leaving me?
I just need to do some quick testing real quick. I'm gonna step out into this hallway for a couple minutes, do some testing. I'll be right back.
Winsler, the door, this iris opens. You can step out. Integrity, you and Callowin, I assume, are staying here?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I'm just staring at this floating brain. It's like, I can't believe that this
Are you
exists.
getting closer to it?
Yes.
Okay. So you can walk up, almost put a hand on the glass and just watch it float there, suspended in this green water. Winsler, you leave the room. With this helmet on your head, you walk back out into this hallway where you originally were.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the bubbling of the tank next to you.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the rumbling of the door behind you as it closes, and whatever magic happens.
Mm-hmm.
But you do not hear those whispers come back into your brain.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm going to wait a little bit longer just to double check.
Absolutely. How long are you gonna wait?
Probably not that long. I'm probably gonna wait maybe 1 more minute. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see how it is with it on my head. Wait 10 seconds, take it off. See what I hear or
Winsler,
feel anything.
As soon as you take it off, you hear those whispers flood back into your brain, and almost like this voice, venomous, will say, "Where were you hiding?" And then you see another one of those tentacles slam against the glass right next to you in this hallway,
Oh my
almost
gosh.
threatening to come burst through and strike you down.
I'm putting it back on, and I'm
Absolutely.
bashing at the interface.
Snuffs out. You run back to the thing and go like da 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 da, as if a person jamming on the elevator closed door button. And then after a horrific amount of time, these little symbols pop up. The little doll, the symbol of Estar, and then the little doll, not that doll house, but a little cube house, like a little block house. You, I assume, touch the Estar symbol. The rumbling on the other side proceeds, and you can rush through this door. Integrity.
Yes.
Did you want to have any conversations with Merrick while Winslow was out here?
So you said that you and this Davis Wilburn and Henrietta were doing a bunch of research about the school, assuming that because she knew that there's some very strong magic from the mountain. Is that correct?
That was the original premise of the research. She invited Davis and I because we were fairly esteemed scholars, and she had been just granted the land by her old clan. She wrote to me and said that there was an unending pool of magic energy boiling at the base of this mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know why, but I was intrigued to carry out many experiments on the divine, the nature of the divine. What are the nature of the gods in this world? Where do they dwell? Where does their magic come from? Some questions that had never been answered before. Those sorts of things. I never pried too much into Henrietta's research. She was quite a bit more secretive and kept to herself, but she always seemed in my life supportive of my work.
I mean, I guess like sometimes the most secretive people probably hide like the most evil of things, because if what you're saying is true, right now Henrietta has something to do with making this whole network and connecting people's brains, and she knows stuff about me that I don't want her to know.
A fate most unfortunate.
Yeah.
You should... I don't know the state of the world out there. I don't know if there's an unending storm that's scoured the earth as told in so many tales. I don't know if there's a horrible... I don't know if the world outside is beautiful and great, or if it has fallen to ruin while I've been trapped in this place, but I implore you, please, girl, escape from this place while you can.
Like from this place, like where we're at, or just this entire plane in general?
Leave behind this mountain. Leave behind this place. Leave behind this school. It is rotten to its very core, please. I have few things left to teach in this world, and the betrayal I felt to be locked in this place is not one that I would wish upon anyone else. You must leave this place. It is built upon a ruinous idea to explore the arcane, something I believe it must have corrupted her mind, either in life or now. I do not know what has become of her since then. But if what you say is true, there's a foulness to her.
So you don't know where she is?
I know nothing. I am locked in this room. A trophy left behind. A nemesis conquered.
Damn.
Winslow, you can enter at this point.
I can definitely leave this mountain, but I have to find her. She has something that is, I think, if it's in her hands for way too long, will...
Or she might find us.
What?
Winslow runs back in the door, shuts behind him.
All right, so that was a little scary. Good news. This silly little hat that I made from the paneling on the wall, it prevents her from finding us.
That's...
We're invisible to her as long as we wear something like this, because it blocks out the brain waves.
The brain waves.
The telepathic
the
link.
psionic energies.
If you wear this tinfoil wrapping on your head, the government can't read your thoughts.
How can I make one for myself?
I am going to do that. Fear not.
So Winslow, you want to cast Fabricate 3 times?
I'm going to cast it 2 more times, because that'll give us
Perfect.
a helmet for each of us.
Of course, you can do so.
That will take 20 minutes total.
Absolutely.
Let's just kill Callowin.
No.
Whoa. But
Do
good
it.
luck.
Jesus.
What are you,
No,
crazy?
but good luck.
I'm making a joke, okay?
Okay,
Don't worry,
but...
we won't kill you, Callowin. You're important. You're important.
I love how you made the joke in front of his face.
Yeah, in front of him.
It's a joke. Thanks for... It wasn't a funny joke.
I'm
gonna be honest
sorry.
with you.
You just know too much. Like, promise me you won't tell anyone what you know about all of this.
Make an intimidation check.
So mean to Calvin.
I like how Integrity unintentionally is terrifying this poor guy.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get out of your life.
Unluckiest day of his life.
Did you say persuasion?
I said intimidation.
Intimidation.
Scare this man.
9. 7 plus 2.
He gulps again and goes, "It'll die with me." everything I heard, everything I know, it's gonna die with me. I'm not telling a soul about this. And Winsler, you can pass him a helmet and pass Integrity a helmet. There's this quiet silence as you all stay in here. There's almost like this humming that you can now discern is just presumably Merrick humming to himself, like to keep from his going insane. It must be.
I don't know if this would help you at all, but we could help. We could rescue you from here. I mean,
you can help me.
The best thing I could do is probably like make like a fishbowl and put your brain in it with the water that you're in, but that would like free you from where you are. Do you need any help? Or
you can help me? Yes, you can break this glass and put an end to my suffering.
That's a heavy order.
Please.
Well, what do you mean? Like,
I have nothing left for this world. I am a trophy kept behind by some crazed scholar. You are the first people to have seen me in 200, 300 years. Please. If not now, then such a mercy will never come.
It's definitely not an easy thing for you to ask. I mean, we only just met, but what you're asking is extremely hard. But if it's the one thing that will truly help you.
Yes. Young man, I died hundreds of years ago.
All right. Okay. I don't know if that's a good spell to use.
While Winsler is here thinking about what he's going to do, I'm like rubbing the glass and I'm saying, I will make sure that your name does not go in vain. I'm so sorry that this has happened to you. You founded a wonderful school creating wonderful, smart, future magic humans in this world, and
Oh my god.
You're great. I'm a big fan. I'm just like Integrity does not know what to say.
Big fan.
Like trying to be comforting, you know?
Yeah. Winsler?
All
right. I am going to use my conjuration abilities to conjure up a trusty golden hammer.
Gosh, you're Thor.
No, not that kind of hammer. Like an actual hammer with the nail remover on it.
Like a claw hammer.
Like a claw hammer.
Yeah. Okay. You conjure it in your hands.
I'll look at it for a couple seconds before looking back up at the floating Merrick brain behind the glass. And I'm going to raise it, and as I'm about to swing, I'm going to say, "I'm sorry," and smash the glass. Absolutely.
The hammer crashes through it, and all of this water begins to pour out, making this small hole even bigger and bigger and bigger. The green glow from it begins to fade just as quickly as when it had pulsed into life when you three had entered into this room. Eventually, enough water drains, and this brain spills out onto the ground. It splats 2 or 3 times, tumbling like a stone down a hill, and then just sits there in the spilled water. You see it twitch maybe once, and then it begins to dry out, and you hear no voice, no humming in this hall any longer.
I think we need to get out of here.
Right. We really shouldn't stay here any longer. We need to find a way out of here, and we need to find a way out of here fast. Touch interface. You touch the interface. You return to the hallway, all wearing gleaming gold and silver helmets. Winsler, you and Calwin's are just fitted to your heads. Integrity, yours covers your horns as well. So it's just this big spiked helmet. The 3 of you return to the hallway. Integrity, you had already disconnected yourself from the network previously.
But Winsler, you remain in a silence of your own mind. And when you do step back into this hallway, Calwin will also remark on such a thing and say, "Oh my God, I can hear myself think again."
All right, now never take that helmet off as long as we're here. Until we get this thing
out.
Yeah, do not take your helmet off for any reason.
Any reason. Okay.
If as soon as any of our helmets are off, except for Integrity's, I don't know if your brain is still connected or not. If any of these are off, she'll know where we are.
Okay.
We can't let her find us. So now we have to get out of here.
Hidden.
Yeah.
Okay. Winsler, you touch the pad again. Do you want to select a different symbol?
Yes.
Which one?
Let's select the house this time.
To bring us home.
Sure, that's how it is.
You touch this little block house, Winsler, made of wood. It looks like it's preserved well in the yellow fluid. There's a silence among the three of you after what you just did. And as the rumbling on the other side of the door finishes, this slides open, and you can hear voices calling loudly, or echoing loudly. It seems to be a very open chamber that you've just opened a door up into. Would you like to pass over the threshold?
Yes.
And would you like to do so quickly or quietly?
Quietly is probably best.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we're thinking this is just random people's voices that we've never heard before.
You hear a booming
Or do we know?
voice. You hear a booming voice and the sounds of splashing water echoing in this room beyond you. The words specifically that you hear are, "Boy, you have done amazing work this time." Those are the words you hear upon opening the door.
Fuck.
With that said, do you want to go quickly or quietly?
Quietly still.
Okay.
Quietly still with gusto.
Both of you roll stealth checks for me then.
Oh dear.
I believe in you.
Oh, thank God. Thank Christ. Oh, thank God.
I got 24.
I got 22.
13 plus 11.
Okay. The two of you, as well with Calwin tagging behind you, huffing and puffing with this big helmet on his head, walk into this large room. The very first thing visually that you can notice is that there is a discontinuity between this glass vessel on your right, the wall on your right, which was made of glass and through which yellow briny liquid was visible, now seems to be through this doorway is on your left.
Okay. So it's basically just reversed. It's flipped.
Exactly. And as you walk out, you see stairs heading up in front of you, and you can slowly creep upwards. You do not seem to be in one of these circular hallways anymore. Above you, the ceiling extends probably 40, 50 feet up, and you can see it start to pull together into a big point. And at the very tip of that point, you see a glimmer of sunlight coming from somewhere above, just shining down and casting an eerie overlighting to everything here that is already lit by this glowing saffron water.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear to your left, probably up 30 feet, a sloshing of water as if many waves are being pushed back and forth. You can look up and see that it seems the top of this container, this vessel, is up there. To your right, it just is this steep embankment, this wall that just goes up towards that skylight. As you walk forwards quietly, you go up a single flight of stairs, and then you walk forwards probably 20, 30 feet more. You hear this voice booming in this large chamber that says, "I did not expect such a great turnout from this plan. I expected only the foolish few who still attend that society to be caught in the net. I didn't expect such wonderful artifacts to be gifted to me. What a exceptional job you've done, Bailey." And as you guys proceed up another small flight of stairs, you can, at this point, you are high enough that you can see over a railing, let's say. That's the best way to describe it. It seems it's like a horseshoe shape of a walkway. And let's say at the apex of that walkway of that horseshoe,
Right.
you do see a set of stairs that seems to be, they look very grand, like they are leaving out. They are heading away from this.
Okay.
Right? In the middle of the horseshoe, and you're on the right side of the horseshoe at this point, this curve. In the middle, there seems to be this completely open pool of briny, saffron yellow, glowing water. You are high enough now on this walkway, on this path, that you are above the water line, as it were. There's this railing that would prevent you otherwise from falling in, but you are high enough now that if you wanted to jump over that railing and go for a dip,
No.
go over the railing and go for a dip, nothing would stop you.
Absolutely not.
You see raised a kind of like circular platform that doesn't have any walkways that extend to it. It seems to just be floating in the air above like the pool itself. And you can peek over this railing and see there's a kind of hooded figure, you might presume to be a cranium rat scholar, standing there or kneeling there almost. And then you see Bailey Blue standing, looking despondent. He's just staring at the ground. His mouth is agape. His eyes are just like, there's very little emotion in there. And he looks exhausted. His hair is all over the place. Messy is his shirt. He's wearing a short sleeve shirt, and you can see these terrible, almost like jellyfish burns or scars, stings all up his arms, along his throat, up the right side of his face towards his eye. And he's just standing there, despondent, exhausted, looking as if he is running on fumes. Beside him kneels a grumpy-looking elf, Integrity Idleberry. You've seen this guy. It was the one who Lucia distracted.
So it's a very big platform, eh?
It's probably like a 20-foot wide platform, circular
Pretty
platform,
big. Okay.
floating up in the air. As the three of you continue to sneak through this room, you see the rippling surface of this water, this giant pool, presumably, of course, Our Lady of the Deep, speaking out loud, and she will continue and say, "To you, Bailey, I will finally award some small speck of my own power, some aspect of my greatness, to help you finally with your original plea." And he kind of like chuckles to himself. You can see this from oh so far away. To put it into perspective, you're probably 60 feet away from this guy. He's raised up a little bit from where you guys are standing on this floating platform, but you're probably 60 feet away. Do you want to continue to stay here and watch, or are you wanting to make an escape? They seem to not be able, they have not noticed you. I will be clear. There's that stairway that leads out of here that you seem to, it looks like an exit very clearly. Do you guys want to stay here and watch and potentially risk being seen or perceived, or do you want to run?
I think we've got enough information, much more than we actually ever needed. So I think the best point is to just get out while we can, because sticking around in literally the lair of the villain is a terrible idea. So we need to get out and find our friends as soon as possible. And we need to get Calvin out to safety as well.
Okay. Do
That's
you
our
say
goal.
that to Integrity in this moment?
I'm not going to say anything.
You're just going to pull on her like sleeve and like look at her.
just going to like tap her shoulder and be like, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like motion.
Integrity. What do you do?
I think she's going to turn to make him I guess like at this point I'm realizing like what's happening here. A recollection of what has happened to me in the past.
To you. Yeah.
I can't let him go down this road.
But think about this. We have to get out of here. If you go down there and try to stop him, what's stopping them from attacking you?
To you, Bailey Blue, my most devoted servant.
You guys can go. I'll stay.
What do you mean we can't leave you down here?
The water ripples. You see one of these giant tentacles raise up. It looks like it's grasping at the edge of this vessel, like a person in a bath putting their hands on either side of it to push themselves up out of the water. You see another tentacle reach over to the far side, the left side of this room, and do the same thing. 2 or 3 others join it, grasping, pulling, wrapping around this crystal vessel, this pool, the edge, and the water continues to ripple, and eventually, cresting out of the surface, you see this probably 30-foot diameter giant brain tentacles extending down from it and reaching out hundreds, if not thousands, each. It looks as if they continue to grow like leaves on a plant, smaller ones around the edges, and then this giant brain now cleared of the surface. You hear its voice just emanating, just a much more powerful presence than when it was submerged, and all of you will hear, "To Bailey Blue, my most devoted subject, I award to thee power to win your small election, and to do away with whoever would oppose you." And a single tentacle lashes out and grabs him around the throat and will pull him fully forwards into the water. You see him almost as if he's being drowned. You see him thrashing and struggling below the surface. You see that other elf like stand up with a start as Bailey is pulled in. You hear the rat scholar go, "Stand down, foolish boy." And then this elf Yakov will kind of run to the edge and just be like looking, stammering, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And then another tentacle will lash out to him, grabbing him by the throat, and will say, "And to your most loyal subject yourself, Bailey Blue, Mr. Yakov, I award to you a great boon." And you see him pulled also beneath the surface, thrashing. Integrity Idleberry, are you still staying?
I think we'll find a way later. And then I am going to like start pushing Winsler up the way that
we're going. We're out of here.
The two of you run. Calwin is hot on your heels, if not like right beside you guys. He does not want to be here. You guys run. It echoes now in this chamber, and the rat scholar will turn with a start and go, "Escapees!" And then Our Lady of the Deep says, "All that matters is these two in this moment. Pay attention, scholar." As the three of you run and escape, you get to this staircase. Winsler and Calwin run up without a second look backwards. Integrity, you stop for a moment and can look backwards. And as you do, you see Bailey Blue's form, unmoving, raise up out of the water. This tentacle, thick, wrapped around his throat entirely, and it just throws him back onto that floating platform. You hear him coughing so loudly, his lungs filled with that water, as if he was just drowned, brought back to life maybe underneath the water. The other kid, the other guy, Yakov, does not resurface, at least not while you're here.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Our Lady of the Deep will, as Integrity, you watch for just a couple more seconds before running away, kind of feeling I should do something right now. Bailey will get to his knees, still coughing, and will say, "God, why did you do that?" Like hoarse in his throat, his voice echoing still loudly in this chamber. And Our Lady of the Deep will say, "A final gift to complement your powers." And a tentacle raises up and holds out for him a very familiar sight to you, Integrity Idleberry.
Oh, no.
Jade-colored dagger to him.
No!
And the brain will say,
yes!
"Taken from the body of your victims." And he sighs deeply and will reach out and grab it for himself.
Oh my god.
And Integrity, you can run up out of here, following hot behind Winsler, and I presumably very worried about the state of things. And that's where we'll end this episode.
Holy fuck! Oh my god!
It happened!
Perfect.
We got there. Ben, can you give us an outro, please?
Sure, I'll give you an outro. This will be the best outro I've ever done. Thank you all for listening to this episode of Trials Trebuchets. We hope you enjoyed it. Wow, there was a lot revealed in this episode. Oh my goodness, my heart is still racing. If you like this episode, please leave a rating and a review on our Apple Podcast page or wherever you get your podcast from. It really helps us out a lot. We don't really do much advertising for the show, so the best way to get it out there is by word of mouth. So you, dear listeners.
Yeah.
We also have social media pages for Twitter and Instagram at Trials and Trebs. You can check out some cool things such as upcoming episode teasers, fan art. If you make fan art, please tag us. We love seeing it. It makes our day. It's so good. We love to see it.
It's fantastic.
Lots of other fancy bits there. We have a link to our Discord server in the description below. You can click that link, join up our server, speak with fellow fans of the podcast. Make lots of friends. It's a cute little community. We love it here.
It's a cute little community.
We also have a Patreon for those who are feeling a little extra generous. We've got a whole bunch of different tiers that give you access to things such as bloopers, DM notes, maps. You might even be able to have a student NPC show up.
Such as Calwin. Thanks, Calwin. Thank you, Abby Prescott, for Calwin. He's a great
Thank you again. He's great. And last but not least, we have one final thing to announce to you, dear listeners. Merchandise. Trebmerch.com. Trebmerch.com, the best place to get all your hit TNT merch, such as stickers and a cool shirt with Nesca on the back.
Yes. Thanks for everyone for listening to this week. I hope that you enjoyed it.
Yes.
And I hope you tune in next week for the continuation. Until then, see you later.
Bye, everybody.
See you later, alligators.
See you later.